My name's Mark, welcome back for another YouTube video. In this video I'm making these laminated wooden coat hangers. Okay, to start I've just cut myself really thin strips on the table saw. I have actually done a few different thicknesses because I thought it'd be a bit of an experiment to see, because I'm going to soak them in water, just how much more flexible they'll become, to see, you know, what you can get, how thin you actually have to go before you can bend it around the tight ankles. So I've never really laminated anything where I've soaked it in. I'll leave them in that bin for a couple of hours or so while I make the template to bend them around. I made myself a couple of templates, so I'll try and bend it round there, the first one, and then round there and up round there. It will sort of make sense when I do it, but it'll be easier to see. I just cut one of these out and then just pattern cut them all on with a pattern cut a bit in the router. Those are just for clamping points. Just hole sawed these out and then hole sawed a smaller hole in the middle just so you can get a clamp on there. Those are bits that would have been in that dustbin for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours I think now. So I'll bring some in, try and bend them around, and hopefully they won't snap. Done the first one, it's actually bent really easy actually. I've used the slightly thicker ones on this curve because it's not, you know, so much more, it's not that much of a tight radius, but this one is a really tight radius, so I just used the thinner ones. So I've gone right round there and I've actually clamped them back onto this clamp here, but obviously they're going to get cut off here. Obviously you wouldn't get it on the hanging rail, but I'm going to just put them on here. They're all soaking wet now. I'm going to leave them on there for 2 or 3 days to dry. Hopefully they should dry into this shape, then I can dismantle it all, glue it all up, and then clamp it up tight to hold the shape. Should have wound right the way around there, so those thin ones will work to treat. Yeah, this second one didn't want to bend around there as easy, so what I did was the bits where I hole sawed out to make the template, I used sort of the remainder of the the offcut, the waste part, just to push it around there with a clamp. It seems to work and it's held in it nice. But the other one just seemed to bend around without any trouble at all. No idea why that is, but anyway. Right, these have been in the clamps for a couple of days now. I've just released them, so I mean there's no pressure regard to sort of put it back into its shape. That stayed pretty much around there. So I'll get all the rest of the clamps off to cover everything in packing tape so the glue doesn't stick, and then I can start gluing them up. So I've got one glued up. So many clamps on there, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the other one on there. I should have separated them, cut the board in half before I started, but oh well, you live and learn. So I'm going to let this one go off and then clamp the other one up. I was been in the clamps a couple of days with glue, so I'll pop it out, see if it will come out first, I suppose. Whether I've glued it in there or not. That bit of wood I just put in there to hold the shape, so that should come out. It's a bit wide, so I'll have to cut it down. I'll give it a bit of a clean up. So I cut one down on the bandsaw to sort of square it all up, because I made them too wide because I wasn't quite sure. I thought I'd give myself plenty so when I clean them up. I got one on the bandsaw. I did the other one on the table saw, which was probably easier, but probably a bit stupid, probably a little bit dangerous, but it did cut it. It was a bit easier to do. So I'm just going to sand them all up now. I mean, obviously going to round everything off. Finally got them sanded out. They are a bit of a pain to sand because there's no flat surfaces. It's all round bits, and it's just pretty much a hand sand. But I'm quite pleased with how they've come up. So I was going to just put some more Osmo wax on them, see how it brings them up. Come out okay, really. They certainly look like coat hangers, and I don't think you'd want to hang a heavy winter's coat on, but you'd certainly be right with something light. They look quite nice in the hallway for sort of display purposes. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe and check out my other videos. Thanks a lot.